Hello and thank you for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, bandits invade communities, set houses of Zamfara speaker. Others ablaze as Chief of Army Staff warns commanders that excuses will no longer be tolerated for attacks. Governor Uzodinma meets with Air Force Chief, vows to deal ruthlessly with criminals as IPOB militant chase students from Imo School. And later on the show, Edo Deputy Governor Shuaib denies rift with Governor Obaseki, says he has no plan to defect. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Paul Dada. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. The war against banditry in Zamfara state is far from over. In a fresh attack in Zumi local government area, bandits set ablaze the homes of Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Nasiru Muazu Magaya, and other residents. In the face of this, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, says he will no longer tolerate excuses from army commanders who are leading the fight against terrorism and other forms of insecurity. Babajide, these people are still raising their heads, and the report, we have conflicting reports. Once I read a report this morning that they are finding their way out of Zamfara states, going to other states, or they are even heading south, that Zamfara is too hot. Now, who are these ones perpetrating these crimes around, still in Zamfara states? Well, at the same time, we have massive military operation going on there.
It's extremely difficult to get accurate information about military operations in our country, whether in the northeast or in the northwest, as we have seen. I've always demanded that we should be focused on the fight. We should not jubilate too early. We should ensure that we are not distracted. I know that our people are very excitable people. People want victory at all costs. And when stories that have to do with setbacks happen, it doesn't make our people happy. They want to read only about successes. But people who are familiar with this kind of warfare, they know that you cannot always have successes. There will be setbacks. The Nigerian army cannot always win. You can't win every phase of a battle. There will be some phases of that battle that you will lose. There will be setbacks. This is what I've been preaching for some time now, especially after we began this operation in the northwest. Because when I started reading, in fact, somebody who was giving me information said, within 3 days, this whole thing should be over. And I'm like, 3 days? Are you kidding me? 3 days?
As if, you know, we have this magical wand.
If we do not stem the extreme optimism, we will eventually even distract ourselves. It is not possible, even when the enemy is being defeated, there will still be some setbacks. Soldiers will still be killed. Civilians will still be killed. People will still get attacked. So let us admit that these things are normal in warfare. Look at Vietnam. There was no phase of the war in Vietnam that America didn't win. But America lost about 50,000 in that war. And their whole society can't stand 50,000 dead in a war. The pressure from home will be huge. So this is the thing. This area, this Rumi area, where the young man, the bandit Truji, is in control, has always been a notorious part of that state. From there, they can move into Katsina. And the terrible thing about Zamfara especially is the size of the forest ensures that these people can move, escape to even as far as Niger Republic, escape to Kebbi, because those forests link one another. Maru local government is the 4th largest local government in Nigeria. Maru local government is bigger than Enugu State, and Enugu State is the biggest state in the north, in the southeast. You can imagine one local government being bigger than Enugu State. You can imagine a local government being bigger than Ekiti State, being bigger than Lagos. That is what we have. So it poses a very big challenge to police. And if you say, oh, bomb everywhere, there is a limit to which you can drop bombs. These bombs cost a fortune. You can imagine buying a bomb for 8,000 euros and you are saying, oh, just drop. You can't just drop them anywhere.
Can do that coordinated attack.
So many states at the
that
is why it will take a while. Our people should just be patient. It's unfortunate that this minister, this speaker has faced this problem, and it's not the first time. So our people just need to be patient. They should realize that this is not the last negative story that they will hear. To start saying, oh, maybe they say we are winning. Why? What is going on? This will happen. Except you just want to be reading about lies alone. Setbacks will happen. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing.
So what do you make of the recent attack?
Well, the fight against entrenched banditry is going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. We should just accept that fact. We also have to realize something, that there is progress, unlike what used to obtain when the predecessors of this military, these service chiefs were around. You know, they were complaining, these people are run out of ideas, remove them. We need to commend those who are the helm of affairs now. They are trying. They've started, you know, bombarding these bandits, but they are not going to sit still. The only thing I would just say is that we need to step up on our intelligence gathering, because some of these things can be stopped before they happen. Because we keep seeing this happening. They will happen, but we can stop some of them. I don't think I've ever read that bandits who were on their way to attack a school were stopped.
Were stopped, apprehended.
You understand? Were stopped before they did it. I don't think I've ever read that. Okay? So they go about killing people, destroying people, killing security agents. You know, and what we hear many times is, we are on the trail. We are on the trail of the attackers. Everybody that goes to security work knows that, okay, it is possible that they pay the supreme price. It is not uncommon for policemen or soldiers to pay the supreme price. But these soldiers, policemen, should not die for nothing. Now, we commend them for doing what they are doing already. We also acknowledge that we would have certain setbacks. But let us also work on our intelligence gathering so that we may be able to forestall some of these things, able to stop them even before they happen.
It took time for these guys to get to where they are now, for them to form the enclave and everything. So dislodging them would certainly take time, because if government had been proactive, as I said, but during their formation, by the time, you know, I don't know the work of DSS again, by the time this group, they started assembling their ammunition, started importing things, it was a full-fledged group, said before they started carrying out their attacks, and I don't know how it evolved. Maybe 1 or 2, 3 years, we just started hearing of banditry.
No, they've been there for so long. They've been there. Banditry is not new. I remember even during my service here in Kaduna, bandits used to attack luxury buses on the highway. So some of them were from outside our country. Remember even the civil war in Chad. Some of their fighters, when they are hungry, some of them come into our country and they will start attacking people. So banditry has been there for so long. It's not a new thing. What I can say is that we abandoned our forests for so long. We didn't care to find out what was going on in those massive forests, including even the forest reserve here in Oyo State, the forest reserve that the Western Nigerian government created for the purpose of using it as a grazing reserve. Today is being occupied by criminal headsmen. They are the ones who now went and were attacking people in Igangan and other places, because we left those forests unguided, and we just didn't care to find out what was going on there. Now, how do you dislodge every one of them? It's the same thing that we were guilty of in respect of Sambisa Forest. Sambisa Forest was a training facility for the army, for the BGs of the Abacha era. It has tunnels and all that, a network of tunnels. Now Boko Haram found it as a very useful area to hibernate, and they went inside the place. To dislodge them from outside Sambisa became a problem, given the size of the forest, because they can now move from where. If we attack them here, the next day they've migrated to another part of the forest. A forest so big, it is 6.5% of the entire Nigerian landmass. You know how difficult it is to police a forest that stretches. Sambisa Forest stretches to 7 Nigerian states. How do you effectively police such a massive forest? So it's the same problem that we have with the northwest forests, like Rugu Forest, Kuyambana in Dansadao, where that's Maru local government is where you have Dansadao. How do you police all of those places? So we are bombarding them. They are mobile. Some of them will have even had information that this military campaign will happen. So they probably will have moved to other places. I'm reading reports about the bandits relocating to safer areas. All we need to do is stop them in their tracks. We should expect that they will try to relocate, and as they are relocating, they will be attacking communities in anger. There was someone who told me. That look, that that the moment they started bombing them, they were running away and attacking innocent people in the various communities, accusing them of providing information for the military to come after them. So this is the thing. We just have to stay focused and tell ourselves that, look, this is not a battle that will end after a few days. People should not deceive themselves. Those guys too have capability. It's not the military alone that has capability. And as we have seen, they have the weapons to take on the military. The only thing they don't have is the air power. But they have the normal weapons that surface troops use, including RPGs, GPMGs, and the rest of them. So we have to just stay focused. Every time the army suffers a setback, it should not be discouraged. It should just see it as one of those things. It will happen in warfare. It's just normal.
And we talked about the sponsors, extensively, and we want to know, in terms of supplies, in terms of whatever they are getting, food, provisions, and everything. You discover that it's still same Nigerians that still supply them these things.
Exactly. Apparently, there are Nigerians who are sympathetic towards banditry and terrorism. And what we need to do is to identify those Nigerians. Thank God for what is happening with the BDC, for the terrorism, terrorism sponsors. You understand? We are very happy about that. and we are getting progress reports. They are going to court and all of that. Now they identify them. These people, they had a way of transferring funds to Dubai, right? Then from Dubai, the funds will be transferred back to Nigeria. We need to cut their source of funding. We need to clip the wings of the sponsors. These bandits are not even the ones. They are not the brain behind the attacks. They are just foot soldiers. There are people who are making money from the enterprise.
Because we've asked ourselves now.
Exactly. Those are the ones.
500 million, 600 million due to these people. What has the 500?
When you even look at the pictures of those bandits, they look poor, they look scrawny.
And what's the impact of the $2 million?
They look so haggard. Many of them.
I just hope the trial will expose more people.
Yes.
And we keep hearing.
Because these are not the real people.
And they will name and shame them.
Exactly.
It's not going to be a close thing.
No, even the UAE people have declared some Nigerians wanted. The UAE government, they declared some Nigerians wanted on the basis of terrorism. And it is the issue of sending money to Boko Haram. You know? And then, of course, our own people here, these bandits, there are people who supply them with bread. The government has warned that, look, we'll close your bakery. Now, in Sokoto, some were arrested. Taking petroleum products to them, that they were even using boats to convey the product from Sokoto
even this
to
one,
Issa local government
and
in Shinkafi, Issa local government and Shinkafi, they are using a boat to convey foodstuff, petrol and other essential commodities because now they are starving. The bandits will be able to buy such things at a premium. So people want to make money too. We also want to quickly use that opportunity.
I have my first caller. Show is calling us from Lagos.
And the speaker, remember this same speaker. No, I said earlier that it's not the first time he is falling victim of these people. His father and stepmother are still in the hands of the bandits. They were picked up some weeks back. They are still in their hands, and you still went ahead to set ablaze the guy's family home.
Even like I was saying, even in Zamfara, people were also arrested. People that were supplying them things. There are actually people who because of the money they will
drugs.
Exactly. So we should arrest, get them arrested, cut them off. And there are people that live among the citizens normally, generally. They are traders, the normal regular traders. So something should be done about that too.
And the build-up is as if days ahead will be interesting because the confidence is getting back. I have Austin from Lagos. Thank you, Austin, for joining us. Hello. Well, Austin. So, the investment of the federal government with time, I think it's time now that it will start manifesting that the investment on military hardware and some other things. I've been seeing some signs and everything. I think this will boost the morale of our soldiers.
Yes, one of the best ways to boost their morale is to provide them with what they have. Generally, they don't have all of what they want. There are some military formations that even lack patrol vehicles that are serviceable and all that. So you need to provide all of what they need. That will give them the confidence. You can imagine you're a policeman and your police unit has an APC. You already feel that, look, you have an edge over the aggressor. You will just be waiting, let them come, bring the fight, you are ready. So this is the way it is. When soldiers don't have the tools to work with, part of their motivation to fight is even gone. Because it will seem like you are just taking them to slaughter. We need to have even ambulances. I've seen soldiers with broken limbs, the 2 legs shattered, and his colleagues were carrying him with bare hands. Once somebody is in such a vulnerable state, you cannot even just carry the person anyhow. He could have even suffered a spinal injury. You can't carry him anyhow. There should be air ambulances that will evacuate people straight from the battle zone. We need to invest in such equipment, and the soldiers will feel happy.
Femi is calling us from Surulere.
Well, good day to all of you.
Yes, Femi, thank you for
I
joining
want to
us.
ask Didi one question. Is there no technology to monitor all those large areas? Because I know that we have satellite data that can monitor all those places. And is it possible for us to acquire that thing? Because when these people come, they will come from Sambisa Forest with trucks. And almost 150 kilometers to Biafra, and they go back quickly. Thank you.
Thanks. We need to invest in drones. The world over, that's the area people are moving to, countries are moving to. The drones, these days there are even drones that use solar energy. There are drones that can be on air these days for more than a month. You don't need to come down. You don't need to come down. Issue of refueling is not there because it is solar. So Nigeria is investing in them, and I know that very soon those drones will be delivered to us. When they are delivered to us, there's no risk of a soldier dying because the drones will be able to monitor them and then deliver its weapons on them. You can see America. Look at what America did in Afghanistan the other day. They just sent a drone. And the drone got the job done and went back. So drones will help us to defeat criminality in our country. States should also be permitted to even acquire drones. I've heard that some states like Osun, for example, they wanted to acquire drones, but they were told that they needed to take permission from the NSA. What kind of thing is that? You accuse governors that they only take security vote, they can't protect their states. And we have the governors who have made up their mind that they needed these drones. They have to go and take permission from the NSA, who would then say, no, you can't bring drones now. I mean, when we are ready, we will defeat banditry and other forms of criminality. Drones is the modern way of dealing with these people. We should have drones. Plenty of them.
All right. I have Uche is calling us from Lagos.
Hello,
OJ is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, OJ. Okay. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Journalist Hangout reaching you from TVC News. I have Babajide Kolade to tell you in the house and Paul Dada. And Paul, the Chief of Army Staff, has given read like a riot act to the army commanders that you guys have to get results.
The riot act was very, very, very necessary. Very, very necessary. When I read it, I loved it so much. And I like the way it talked off. Because people must begin to take responsibility for the area they control. Here he said commanders must seize initiative and commanders must take initiative. They must take decisive actions to defeat the threats in their respective area of responsibilities. I will not take or accept no excuses. I will not take or accept no excuses. Gentlemen, failure is failure irrespective of the circumstances. I spoke like a general. It is not the Chief of Army Staff that will go to every area and start fighting either banditry or terrorism. So the people who are controlling those formations, the areas, they need to put on their thinking cap. What can we do to forestall these attacks? What can we do in the area of intelligence gathering? How do we interface with the people in the community? How do we even interface with them to help us detect those who are supplying these criminals with the things they need, the things that make them thrive. So they need to start thinking. How do they stop? How can they even get intel about those who are supplying weapons? The routes those weapons are coming through.
Okay, I have joining us Sule Yao Sule. Thank you for staying with us, Sule.
Yes, Tayo. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, very well.
We are talking about fishing out those who the sponsors of banditry and co. Apart from that, there is another category of people that the government should be concerned about. That is, those who help these bandits to hide their loot. Remember, 2 or 3 months back, in this program, I raised an alarm that Kano is being invaded by some people with huge sums of money buying property. And they came with cash, raw cash. Nothing was done until recently, in fact, just this week, that the Kano state government came up with a law banning sale or giving rented houses to people who are not known. Why did it take government so long to act? Remember, 3 months ago, I raised this concern because people engaged in property in Kano complain that some strange faces are coming with raw cash, huge raw cash to buy properties. And if you add 1 and 2, you can comfortably come up with a theory that this must be the proceeds of banditry.
Yeah. It is because they don't use the banks.
The amount involved,
they collect raw cash. Even if it's 100 million, you must pay cash. So, and how do they then keep this money? They have to tie the money down with landed property or something like that. So more or less money laundering, another form. So it's something that we really need to be worried about. Some of them will convert the cash to dollars because dollars will be easy to move around. And you know, so that is what we are going through. We just hope that things will get better. And the chief of army staff and his colleagues, service chiefs, they've done well. They are united. They are like their predecessors, and that's why we are getting some results. So we hope for the best, and we will continue to pray for them for success.
Right. Moving on, in Imo States, the fire on the roof is not finally out. Hence, no sleep yet for the governor. But after meeting with a top Air Force officer, Air Marshal Frank Okpari, Governor Hope Uzodinma expressed his readiness to flush out unrepentant bad eggs from the states. Meanwhile, gunmen suspected to be members of the Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, stormed the comprehensive secondary school Nkume in Njagba local government area and stopped the students from taking their examination. Governor Hope Uzodinma, since he got into office, let me start from you. You know, he has not been having a good time in terms of concentrating. People allowing him to concentrate to real governance and everything, and Itato's peaceful state has been riddled with one crisis or the other, especially with the advent of this Eastern Security Network. This IPOB guys.
There are two governments in the southeast and in Imo State, IPOB and the validly elected governments, and it's a shame. It's really very shameful that IPOB is doing what it's doing now. If they think that this is the way to show solidarity to their leader who is being tried, they are mistaken. Number one, nobody has even declared, presumably is innocent until proven guilty. That's what the law says. No matter what your gut feeling tells you, he's still innocent until proven guilty. And the fact is, the best way to get justice is to go through the judicial process. You can't be saying that every Monday people should sit at home, and then you go chase out people who are sitting. There was
a kind of counter instruction to that effect by the brother of Nnamdi Kanu himself.
Well,
but it wasn't so effective.
The people who, I'm trying to be circumspect. I don't want to use the word that is coming up in my mind, because the word that's not coming in my mind it's not a very pleasant word. You don't go. You don't avoid it. Yeah, you don't go do that. It's nonsensical. It's bad. So if the governor is vowing to flush them out, he should have every right-thinking Nigeria should support him. Whatever they can do, you can't hold a whole state to ransom. You can't stall. You can't keep stalling the activities in a state because your leader is being prosecuted. Nobody has killed him yet. He's not killed. This is without prejudice to whatever they are agitating for. You understand? This is not the way to go. And they will be losing sympathy. Do you think the parents of those children that were chased out will be happy with them? Do you think the children will be happy with them? So Governor Uzodinma should do whatever. The security agencies, they should work together to do whatever they can do. But they must avoid excesses. They must avoid going after innocent people. That's very, very important.
But I discovered that while some people are in solidarity with IPOB, some, they are compelled to stay indoor because of fear.
Yes.
Because in the past, those that have violated, some have been killed, some had their destiny burnt. So that fear of the unknown, even banks. I understand that there's a particular bank that opted for Saturday banking now to make up for that Monday in the East. But instead of us opening and something will happen, let's bank on Saturday so that we'll do whatever we want to do to clear for on Monday. That's strange.
Yeah, I sympathize with people of the Southeast. This is not the right approach. We are destroying the economy and the livelihood of people.
Within the Southeast,
every Monday, you set ablaze trucks. Last week, there was the case of an articulated vehicle carrying motorcycle spare parts. The vehicle was heading for Kaba in Kogi State when it was set ablaze. You can imagine the millions that the owner of those spare parts will have lost. Now the governors are now resorting to force that, look, if you do not open your shop, then the shop will be closed forever. You will lose the shop. They are telling banks that if they don't open, that you will withdraw their operating license. What you need to do is to provide security. People have tried to open their shops and they regretted it.
Yes.
And you are busy issuing threats as if those people were happy to even close their shops. You know, banks know that if they don't open on some given days, that they will lose big money. It's not. It will never be the wish of a bank MD to say close down, don't open. It's because of the security, and people have seen that increasingly government can't even protect them.
Yes.
Before our eyes, innocent people were killed. Some beheaded, called traitors. You can't stop it from happening. You are issuing threats all over the place. Oh, if you're a banker, in these states, we've seen attacks. Even when Imapafu said, look, there is the only sit at home that we are doing for now is on the day that Kanu is being taken to court. Monday sit at home has ended. Look at what he said. He said, we can't be part of the problem we are trying to solve. We suspended the ghost Mondays that we earlier declared because of the economic implications to our people. We listened to appeals. That was why we reduced the sit at home to protest to the days our leader will be appearing in court. That is enough for now, and we stand by it. So he was threatening. Imapafu was threatening those who enforce sit at home on Mondays. But the people are saying, look, I will sit at home until the same person that we saw who gave that order, we see him giving a contrary order. Because, you know, the thing about a mob is that the mob has no leader. They just go, they just go like heads of cattle, and they will be taking action that they like.
And
so,
especially unemployed youths.
Unemployed youths roaming around. This is what is happening.
Okay.
This is what is happening.
I have Stanley from Enugu. Thank you for staying with us, Stanley.
Good evening.
Good evening, Stanley.
Okay, I want to comment on this issue of IPOB sit at home.
Please go ahead, Stanley.
As I'm talking to you now, we are still sitting at home in Enugu.
I was told.
And there is another sit at home on Friday. And the most annoying part of this sit at home idea is that you see the educated elites in Southeast supporting the sit at home. It is very funny for you to see people who are well educated supporting this stupid idea of sit at home. How can you in a week, yesterday was sit at home, today is sit at home, Friday is another sit at home, and you feel people are existing? So the problem is no longer Nnamdi Kanu. The problem is that those people in Southeast doesn't even understand what they are doing to themselves.
Be Mondays. Why are people still sitting at home?
People still at home on Mondays.
Are you there?
It's gone.
Oh.
Because this is the thing. They said it is only on the days that they bring him to court now that there will be sit at home. So in
To reverse
this is Tuesday.
First order is the problem now. That order
But
of
if a man powerful has been speaking, why wouldn't people? I just think that it is fair. A lot of people are not convinced that if we try it, okay, look at, they have reversed this for some time now. Yet people are still terrified. They can't come out.
The painful one that I feel that that because they might be losing sympathy from within their people is the riot that happened yesterday. I saw that visual, burning the school, burning the
GSS examination.
And
we have warned them that look, you will not have sympathy.
Let's listen to Nancy from Enugu.
Yeah, okay, are you still there?
Nancy, another person.
I've come out from the radio.
Okay, since they said Monday is no longer sit at home, why are people still sitting at home on Mondays?
It's out of fear. Because the last caller that called now, telling that the people who know something, they're still sitting at home. He will know that maybe one big lawyer have been gone down in Enugu. He's one of the elite. So people are fearing maybe the hot drums. That's why you see so many people abide by the rule. So it's just fear. Like today.
But you said any worker does not go to work on Monday should consider himself sacked.
Does he have any? Is he going to protect them?
Still, I know that some people will stay at home.
They seem to be more powerful than
you see, we've seen where we have soldiers, we have policemen, we've seen them take over streets, killing people. So people don't want to die. If you take away your job, if I still have life, I have hope that I can get another job. But if my life is gone, yes. If my life is gone, what do I do?
You can't come out alone, no. Not that everywhere clean.
That is the thing. And the thing, the people who are murdering other people, you have to be careful with them. That is the fear.
Exactly.
Have to be, if they can police the communities well, if the people have security, they will come out. But you cannot guarantee that. And then somebody also said that you could even go out and be a victim of a stray bullet from the police or the army. That's another fear.
Wow.
Because even innocent people have been killed in some of these states.
And the ultimately is that they are losing so much as in kind of economy.
Yes, the economic well-being of the state is being strangulated.
If this thing is limited, if it's not limited to the southeast now, we'll say the whole country.
This is not the way. This is not the way to go.
Just the southeast.
It's not the way to go.
All right, and finally, Edo State, South Nigeria, is in the news again. A rumored rift between Governor Godwin Obaseki and his deputy, Comrade Philip Shaibu, is in the air. but the deputy governor has denied any rift with him and Governor Obaseki. He said it also described the rumors plans for him to defect from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as untrue. But can there be any smoke without fire? Jide, this is quite unusual. I know all is not well in Edo State, as in with Governor Obaseki, because this is like a year or 10 months after he was sworn into office. He won the election, popular election, good for him, won. He doesn't have commissioners till now. And I can't remember the last time seeing the visual of the state, Edo State House of Assembly, sitting, passing bills, and all the members that were meant to be sworn in after the whole ulabalu about the people supporting him or not. I don't know, maybe those other members have been sworn in and they are seated in the House of Assembly to commence legislative business. Now it is now Philip Shuaibu. It was rumored day before yesterday that he might leave the People's Democratic Party, that the problem is with the People's Democratic Party. I don't understand what is going on.
Well, the deputy governor admitted that there is crisis within the PDP, but that the crisis will be resolved. But he said he has no plan to defect. It can work both ways. I've seen people say Wike is going to APC, whereas when they were carrying that story on social media, I knew they were lying from the pit of hell. Wike has no plan to join the APC. He probably will be the last to join the APC. But I've also seen people who said they will never join the APC who ended up there.
So people even swore with the Holy Book.
Yes, Holy Quran, that he will never go, but without caring about the repercussions, was swearing with the Holy Quran.
So in APC today.
He's in APC today. I don't know what happened. Maybe they saw Shuaibu in the company of the Yobe State governor, because my friends in the PDP tell me that the governor of Yobe State is the most dangerous Nigerian alive. That you don't see him talking. He hardly talks, but he has street intelligence, and he's been wooing their people to the APC. How he's able to do it, I wish I understand. But he's wooing people, and they are scared of him.
Heavyweights.
They are scared of him. He has not solved all the problems in the party, but he has been able to woo a lot of heavyweights from the
that will count during the next election.
And it's significant. If you can bring such people, your own party will be stronger. People can say what they like about the APC, that they have not been able to fix Nigeria and all that. But why are people going to the APC? Now, not just ordinary people, big people. How are they able to do it? You said they are not popular, Nigerians don't like them. And you are watching them under your nose. Your big shots are heading for the APC. How are they able to do it? The next thing we just see somebody snapping picture with President Buhari.
Governor will take the person to.
Yes, we'll take the president. They will snap. They will snap pictures.
It's just like
just to give them the jersey
signing
like CR7. Give them jersey like CR7. That is what.
The latest senator. What's the name of this female senator from PDP? The former Minister of Aviation.
Okay.
Forgotten her name.
That Igbo woman.
Yes. She's in APC now.
What's that name again?
Even someone, look at those of them. Look at, Stella Odua. Yes. My friend, Diran Ekoto was even say, I never knew this woman was this beautiful. Because he's someone who doesn't see anything good in the PDP. Okay. But the moment Stella Odua moved to the APC, he started saying, I never knew this woman was this beautiful. You are laughing, too much mouth. So this is the thing. Maybe they saw Shuaibu with May Malabuni. Maybe that's why they are suspecting that this will happen. But the man has come out. If he has integrity, his word, he will not want his word to go down. But integrity is a scarce commodity within the rank and file of Nigerian politicians.
I will advise that we should just wait and see.
No, we are watching.
Because I know the Deputy Governor Philip Shah is also a fan of journalist Hangout. So we just wait and see. We take you by word. Yes, this is that's the latest side. Is the Senator Andy Uba, Senator Ovie Omagege. Yes.
Wherever you see him, just run away.
Yes, so he doesn't talk much. That's
no. To even grant interview is difficult.
I'm telling you, but we just get the job done.
I wish there was a law stopping defections. Honest, I wish there was a law. You know, even
in America, the home of democracy, there is no such law.
No, I know. I'm just saying that I wish because the spate of defections is sorely upsetting. For me, I don't get excited that people are defecting.
If it's your party, if you're a card-carrying member of the party, and you are fiercely loyal to the party,
you'll be happy.
You will stand on the rooftop to jubilate that people.
No, I understand what, but again, but it also shows. It also shows that they don't have. There's no party ideology.
People defected to even Republicans defected because they didn't like Donald Trump.
I agree.
It's
Philip Shuaibu, and he has refuted it.
No, it's a good thing. But there are two reasons why I think people defect. Number one is that when people become disenchanted with maybe a big wig in the party who is so much bigger than the party, they defect. Other people, if they feel they cannot get joy within their party and somebody is dangling a carrot before
them. State now, we need to ask question, what is really happening? Because I expected something like a coalition government, not a coalition government, but something that's at least the PDP, those people that worked for the emergence of Governor Obaseki, by now should have strategic commissioners and this.
I hope they sort themselves out because Obaseki is currently ruling like a king in that place. He's the commissioner for education, the commissioner for lands, is everything there. Because if you don't have commissioners, it means you are the
I think well, somebody did that too around there, not far away from us. It's not the first person to do it. We can only appeal because it looks like
provisional.
I know
that you must choose your commissioner.
Well,
the governor must
for someone who has destabilized the legislative
house,
yes, in the state, how are they going to move against him? When some of us were saying that choosing speaker at midnight and sending notice to only the people that you wanted,
people are quiet now.
Sending notice to only the people that you wanted to appear.
Yes, the way they attacked you.
They said, Jide has come, they were saying all kinds of rubbish. Now you have a governor who won election a long time ago. Till today, he has refused to appoint commissioners. He has refused to inaugurate
the assembly.
Now, you've even achieved your aim. You have your second term.
Yes.
The whole battle against Oshomole was about first term.
And Oshomole has done like this.
Second term. Now you have second term. Why don't you forgive those House of Assembly members? They were elected just like you.
Yes.
You have denied their constituents the power of representation. You've denied them because they wanted to choose a different person as their speaker. You turned against them. Now we have no way of getting this governor to do what is right.
Yes,
because he has destabilized this. It is in that state that many oddities happen. There was a governor who removed the roof of the House of Assembly just in his desire to keep the House of Assembly in check. Oddities should stop happening in Borno State. And leaders, party leaders, political leaders need to talk to the arrogant governor of Edo State that you can't run a state without commissioners, without House of Assembly members. You've chased them away, and they won election.
Who is going to impeach you, or who is going to call you to order?
And they are the ones criticizing the APC government everywhere. They don't have any moral locus to do that because look at what is happening within your own party.
Okay.
That's what's happening within your own party.
In our country, we don't like the truth. When the truth appears to be unfavorable to us,
then
we won't even see it as the truth.
It doesn't like
you call the person names.
Yes. But right now,
you know,
we kept quiet.
A person that we love in Nigeria, a person that we love, we can permit it to decapitate people. We can permit it to decapitate. We won't complain. Yeah. That's how we are. We're extremely biased people.
Critical. Paul, thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout on Sunday between 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozuba. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.